The rain was falling in thick, cold sheets, one of those nights where even the sky seemed upset. Cars rushed past, splashing water onto the sidewalks, and people hurried with their umbrellas, trying to get home as fast as possible. But in the middle of that storm, under the flickering streetlight near the bus stop, stood a woman who looked like life had forgotten her. Her clothes were soaked, her hair clung to her face, and she hugged herself as if she were trying to keep her last bit of warmth from slipping away. That sight stopped Ethan in his tracks. Something inside him whispered, "Don't walk away." He didn't know why, but he felt as if this moment mattered more than he could understand. And he had no idea that helping her would change everything about his own life, in just minutes. Before we continue, if you love stories that touch the heart and remind us that good people still exist, make sure to subscribe, like, and comment. Your support helps us grow our community here on Kindness World, where every story shines a light on humanity. Ethan stepped toward the woman, ignoring the rain that soaked through his hoodie. "Ma'am, are you okay?" he asked gently. She didn't look up. She just shook her head, her shoulders trembling. Ethan could tell she was cold, so cold her lips had turned a soft shade of blue. He took off his hoodie and wrapped it around her shoulders without a second thought. She flinched at first, as if kindness was something she wasn't used to, then finally looked at him with tired, frightened eyes. I'm fine," she tried to say, but her voice cracked. "No, you're not," Ethan answered softly. "Can I help you get somewhere warm? There's a diner right across the street." The woman hesitated. People had ignored her all day. Some had even yelled at her to move away from storefronts. Trust didn't come easy anymore. But something about Ethan's voice felt safe, like he actually cared. She nodded. Ethan held his umbrella over her, letting the rain drench him instead. Together they crossed the street, his step steady and her step small and shaky. When they entered the diner, the warm air wrapped around them like a blanket. A few people glanced their way, some with judgment, others with curiosity. Ethan didn't care. He guided her to a booth and asked the waitress for 2 hot chocolates. The woman kept her eyes down. "I don't want to trouble you," she whispered. "You're not," Ethan said. "My name's Ethan." "What's yours?" She paused before answering. "Lydia." Her name was soft, like someone who once lived a different life, a better one, before everything fell apart. Ethan didn't ask why she was homeless. He didn't ask what she had done or what had been done to her. He simply sat across from her, letting her warm her hands around the cup the waitress set down. After a long silence, Lydia finally spoke. "I lost everything in a year," she said. "My job, my home, my brother. After he passed away, I couldn't keep up. I tried. God knows I tried." Tears slipped down her face before she could hide them. Ethan listened with his whole heart. The diner faded, the rain outside faded, only her voice remained. He didn't interrupt or rush her. Sometimes kindness wasn't about fixing someone's life, it was about letting them finally be heard. When she finished, Ethan slid his untouched cup of hot chocolate toward her. "Lydia. I'm really sorry. You didn't deserve that. No one does." Her lips trembled as she tried to smile. "Why are you helping me?" she asked. "Everyone else just walks by." Ethan looked at her, truly looked. "Because someone once helped me when I was at my lowest. And I promised myself I'd do the same for someone else one day." Just then, the storm outside grew louder. Thunder rumbled like the world was shaking. Lydia's eyes drifted to the window, and Ethan followed her gaze, only to see a car sliding uncontrollably on the wet road. It spun, skidding toward the intersection where a young mother was crossing with her child. Ethan didn't think. He just moved. He bolted out of the diner, water splashing under his feet, his heart pounding so hard it hurt. The mother froze, unable to pull her child fast enough. Ethan reached them just in time, grabbing the little boy and pushing both mother and son out of the path of the sliding car. The vehicle slammed into a stop sign with a violent crash. People screamed. The mother fell to her knees, crying and holding her son close. Ethan stood there, chest heaving, rain dripping down his face. "You saved us," she whispered. "Oh my God, you saved us." Ethan just nodded, still catching his breath. Minutes later, police and paramedics arrived. The driver was shaken but safe. The mother kept thanking Ethan until tears streamed down her cheeks. "You're a hero," she said. Lydia, who had rushed to the doorway of the diner, watched him with disbelief. She couldn't remember the last time someone risked themselves for another person, someone with nothing to gain. When Ethan finally walked back toward her, she smiled for the first time all night. "You said your kindness came from someone who helped you," she said softly. "But tonight, you helped me, and you saved them. That makes you the person someone else will remember." Ethan shrugged shyly, wiping water from his eyes. "Guess kindness spreads its own way." The diner owner, who had seen everything, walked over and placed a hand on Ethan's shoulder. "Son," he said, "people like you are rare. Your bill's on the house. And Lydia," he turned toward her, "if you need a warm meal every night until you get back on your feet, you're welcome here. No charge." Lydia covered her mouth, overwhelmed. It felt like the world had finally offered her a breath of hope, something she thought she would never feel again. Ethan gave her his number and said, "If you ever need anything, call me. You're not alone anymore." The storm eventually softened into a gentle drizzle. Lydia walked out of the diner with Ethan by her side, wrapped in his hoodie, her step steadier than before. For the first time in a long time, she believed tomorrow might be better than today. And Ethan? He felt something shift inside him, something like faith. Faith that even small acts of kindness can ripple out in ways we never expect. Faith that helping someone in the rain could lead to saving a life. Faith that the world becomes a little warmer every time a single person decides to care. Sometimes fate doesn't wait years to reward kindness. Sometimes it takes only minutes. So the next time you step into the world, remember, one simple act of kindness might change someone else's life, or yours.